Welcome to CCRPG, where we open up our virtual table and play games with some good friends. I'm Bob, and I'll be running Lancer. I'm joined today by Todd, portraying Astro Jamin.
Happy holidays.
Chuck, portraying Evelene Bolick.
Ah, humbug.
Jeremy, portraying Dyne Starseeker.
I'm here.
Jay, portraying Steve Starling.
You guys really dated this video, didn't you?
I was going to say the same thing.
This will most surely come out after the holidays.
Yeah, it will. By 2 weeks or something like that.
So Christmas in July, right?
Yes.
Over the last few sessions, we followed our pilots as they unraveled the secrets of 70.106 and what Project Rebirth's resources were actually being used for. Evelene and Astro await the DBC's arrival. After scattering the base's defenders with their mechs and hearing the call go out for reinforcements, they stand guard, hoping to keep their extraction clear. Steve and Dyne face off against Seth Patera, local lead researcher. Having seemingly distributed his consciousness amongst the Symphonic Dolls, he faces the pilots in a combat arena of his making. Let us return to the pilots now, as Astro, Evelene. All of a sudden, you get readings on your systems from outside your normal sensor range as a voice comes through on your comms.
Uh-oh.
You hear static, static, static. Altitude, we have hostiles on us and we can't shake them. I repeat, Mayday, Mayday, we are under attack. Please come in. This is the DBC. We're losing altitude. We have hostiles on us. We can't shake them. I repeat.
DBC, this is Astro.
Oh, Astro. Okay, thank God. Okay, we must be in range now. Bad news. We picked up a tail on our way down through the atmosphere. Good news is we're close.
Shit. You think you can shake him?
No. No, we can't. They're way smaller and way faster than us.
How many?
Well, 2 on us right now. We've taken some hits. Things are okay, but we are coming in hot.
All right, just focus on getting DBC on the ground.
We are heading right towards you. Now that we're within range, you start to see things light up on your systems that were black for you before, because now your operator's back within range to give you more data on the surroundings. Astro and Evelene, both of you see on your sensors, the DBC has picked up scouts coming in on an approach vector, seems to have detected the DBC as it was transitioning down to the planet's atmosphere. They have broken off and are chasing the DBC. The DBC has indicated a landing position near you where the DBC can set down for you to extract from. It's basically where you guys landed.
Oh, okay.
Where you originally deployed from at the beginning of the mission. Also, the DBC transmits to you that there is a reinforcement dispatch that is approaching 70.106 from some other site and is headed towards you. The DBC sensors aren't good enough to pick out what all is in that detachment, but reinforcements are heading towards the base.
Does it give us an ETA?
The ETA is like 30 minutes.
Okay, that's better than nothing.
But you can tell that this looks like a response to the soldiers who got scared away by your mech calling for reinforcements.
Do we have an ETA?
Or they would probably be even closer by now.
Sorry. Do we have an ETA on when the DBC is going to land?
Probably in about 10 minutes.
Okay.
And they're going to be coming in hot. If you guys don't do something to help them, they're going to be under fire the entire way down.
Okay.
This one's on you, Astro, because I have no long range weapons. I mean, we got Artemis. Artemis can shoot things. She's good at that.
Yeah. Artemis, do you think you can help take some heat off of the DBC?
Without
How much
shooting
collateral
it down?
damage is acceptable?
How much collateral damage? I guess enough to ensure that the DBC survives.
So the DBC is not acceptable collateral damage.
Correct.
Correct.
That changes things.
I
Think
mean,
of it this way. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say if if it takes some hits as a result, as long as she can still fly, I would say, because she's our ride out of here.
You just hear a very subtle recalibrating from her.
Like a GPS, recalibrating,
Recalculating, that's it.
recalculating kill plan.
I'm also realizing whatever damage it takes, I have to repair a curry.
Yeah. Based on the information sent by the DBC, the DBC is already damaged. It is slowing and losing altitude, and the 2 scout ships that are following it are smaller and faster. It may be difficult with the ordnance I carry to pick them out of the sky easily, unless the DBC can fly them over my position. Which would mean overshooting the landing zone and wrapping back around.
Could you just move to the landing zone?
I am very slow. Dyne did not make me fast.
Oh.
Yes, you are.
That's fair.
I would need to set up in a position and prepare if I want to be accurate.
I'll radio oh gosh, I forgot her name. Jennifer?
Jesse.
Jess.
Ugh, one of those days. I'll radio Jess and say
when you open up the chat channel to Jessica, you hear her in the middle of saying something. She's in the middle of going, "No, it's too dangerous." And then the line opens to her. Astro, yes.
Jessica, do you think you can fly over our position and bring the scouts over us?
You hear her typing furiously on the other end. Yeah, I see your position. It does say there were turrets there. Are they all down?
Good question, actually.
Yes, that was your job, Astro. Did you actually do it?
The turrets. We destroyed some of the turrets on approach, right?
You did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they're all the ones we're aware of are down.
Then yeah, I can do it. I'm not as good a pilot as Steve, but I can get her there.
Just all we need is for you to bring the baddies to us, and Artemis will take care of them.
Okay. I'll give it a try.
Okay, we're standing by.
All right.
Do I think when this happens that the enemy ships will be within my sensor range, or is that like way too close?
What's your sensor range?
20?
Yeah, they will be.
Okay. I'll say to her, I can also when they fly over, I can also try to hack their systems.
Well, they're both really close on me. I'll paint them for you as I'm approaching. If you're gonna try and take them out, I can designate targets for the 2 of you.
Perfect. Yeah, let's do that.
All right, so here's what's going to happen. For the purposes of this, she is going to designate 1 target for Astro and 1 target for Artemis, and they will both have the lock-on condition when they enter your range. She will use the DBC to provide lock-on for the 2 of them.
Perfect.
So question, how long is it until, it comes, till they're coming, I guess?
Well, they're going to basically buzz the top of you guys. So she's going to bring them in low and buzz right over the top of the admin building and then try to circle around back to the landing point she designated. So she was originally going to be here in like 10 minutes. She is now picking up speed and will be here in like 8 minutes.
Is there anything I can do to sort of like ready their guns to optimize performance, like cool them down or improve their ability to take the shot.
Chimera, I would say that first, do you have anything that would just let you do this that's like one of your skills?
I'm pretty sure I do. I have like hacker fix. I could do.
No, I mean like a talent or a skill or something that literally just says, oh, you give them a bonus of some sort. That's not like us making up one. Okay, so then I think there is a thing you can do that is a normal thing that's just part of the action economy. Isn't there like a
assist
like
or
hack your friends to help them kind of thing? What's that called? Bolster. Enhance another character's system. You can use your max formidable processing power to enhance another character's systems. To bolster, choose one character within sensors. They receive +2 accuracy on the next skill check they make between now and the end of the next turn.
Okay,
so
works.
that would affect skill checks.
Oh.
I don't think a weapon's considered a skill check.
Yeah, it's not. I don't believe.
Bolster. Answer.
But what if it was?
What if it was?
I mean, we can use a little narrative spin on this.
It's not valid for attack rolls of any sort. But it would work on things like grapple, for example, because that's a hull check. It would work for search checks and things of that nature. I would say because you have some prep time, I would allow you to either select... Oh, here's an important thing. Know that whatever Artemis does is going to be worse because she's trying to do it herself without Dyne. So none of Dyne's stats will be taken into effect for this ability, for what she's going to try to do. If you want to spend your time helping, I would allow Chimera to basically assist... to use her time to assist Artemis so that she would get the full effect of having a pilot, essentially.
Okay, that makes sense to me.
All right. So, Dyne, I will let you use your full normal stats on behalf of Evelene, essentially. Evelene is going to basically stretch her processing power into your mech so that Artemis can use Evelene kind of like a surrogate pilot for this shot.
Okay. In that case, I have a thematic thing. Because we have a full 8 minutes until they arrive, normally in order to get charges for the ZF4 solid core, you have to get heat and then discharge the heat, each one giving an additional charge. Because we have the time, can Artemis essentially purposefully gain heat and then discharge, to build up, basically spending her entire time preparing, building up charge in the cannon to fire it at full power?
Oh, I like that.
I will say that you can get this to work if you roll a successful pilot check.
Okay.
Let me put it this way. This will work if Evelene rolls a successful pilot check, since she's the pilot they're helping.
Oh boy.
Because she's not familiar with your systems and will have to help Artemis do this.
I assume Artemis could help with it also because she would know the system.
Mm-hmm. So, Orion, what kind of check do you think this is?
As a pilot check, I mean...
I actually think that this will be a mech check. So she'll have to use...
As a mech check, this would be engineering, I think.
Yeah, it would be one of those four.
Okay. Let me just remember where engineering roles are located in the UI.
You have Hull, Agility, Engineer, and Systems.
Here it is.
It's at the bottom right of your sheet. Yeah. So if you make an engineering check, that will be how you help.
Okay. Here goes. No modifiers, correct?
Nope, no modifiers. This is just to see if you
12.
can get a full charge.
12.
12. Hey, that is a success.
Hooray.
Artemis explains to you by not explaining to you. She sends all the things she's trying to do as technical text into your mech. Because of your engineering and your successful check, you are able to decipher those and figure out what she's trying to accomplish and help her with it. So, yes, Dyne, you will have the full effects of the ZF4 for this shot.
Okay. Cool.
Good deal.
Cool.
All right, Astro, how are you prepping? And what are you planning on doing when they get in range?
Okay, so I am planning on ejecting power using the eject power core's invade option when they get in range.
All right, and remind the audience what that does.
Your target becomes jammed until the end of their next turn as you temporarily... Oh, you know what? I think I might have a better idea. Maybe I'll use Puppet System, which is your target moves its maximum speed in a direction of your choice. They can be moved into hazardous areas and other obstacles, but are still affected by difficult terrain, obstructions, and so on. So, I'm thinking use Puppet System, send them into a nosedive.
Okay, yeah, I like the idea.
Yeah.
So let's continue with how you guys prep for this. You guys, like, narratively, what do we see Evelene and Astro doing while they wait out this slowly ticking down 8 minutes while the DBC is approaching?
Well, Evelene is helping Artemis try and process the multi-different points of the ZF4 as Artemis purposefully essentially overclocks the reactor in order to gain heat and then transfer the heat into the weapon. So just the Prometheus is just steaming as it's releasing so much heat at once. And then Artemis just basically takes aim where she expects them to appear, essentially.
Yeah, Evelene, and your systems, you see like targeting cameras show up on your displays that show Artemis like zeroing in on something that you can't even make out with visual confirmation on the screen. You just see like what looks like a blank picture of the sky on your screen, but a very tiny hex targeting symbol is like covering like one tiny little dot in the far distance of the blank sky.
I admit I'm probably acting uneasy about all of this. Like, I'm basically following Artemis's instructions on how to get this all working, and I'm not confident I did it right. And I know that Dyne's always been, like, pushing his system to the limit because of overheat and his build, but, like, actually being in the mech and doing it is a different story. I'm like, how is Dyne not dead yet?
It is probably one of those things where Artemis is throwing referred errors to your mech. So on screens in your mech, you're seeing like errors pop up that Artemis is just saying okay to. It's like, a bunch of arrow windows keep coming up and you just keep seeing okay being clicked. Okay,
Yeah.
like I understand. Okay.
Exactly
as the mech is consistently being like, hey, there's problems. And Artemis is like, that's fine.
Your license is about to expire. This will explode in 10 seconds. No, it's fine. It's fine.
So for me, I just prepped the viral logic package that I'm going to try to infect the ship with. I tell Kubrick to monitor like radar and visual. In the space we're expecting them to show up, to as soon as the ship is in range, that's been painted for us. I want to get that off.
All right.
Aim them at the factory, Todd. Aim them at the factory.
So what we're going to do here is, because
idea.
this is not full combat, we're actually going to have 2 mech checks. We'll have the 2 of you make.
Okay.
Now, Evelene, you already made your check, which was to make sure Dyne could use his full stuff.
Right.
So we're going to have Dyne and Astro both roll for their plan. These will be done via the narrative system, so these are being considered dangerous. 10 up will be a success, but a bad thing will be happening. 20 up is full success.
Okay.
Who wants to go first?
Sure, I'll go first. Artemis seems like she would fire as soon as anything's in sight, right?
Okay. Yeah, you get Artemis gets what she considers a clear firing solution.
Yeah.
All right, what are you rolling?
So this is pilot trigger, right?
Yes. And you're going to have accuracy because of the lock-on. Because you're using the fully charged ZF4, I'm going to tell you right now that as long as you at least get a 10, you have guaranteed that this ship is going down. Like,
Okay.
it will be gone as long as you at least get a mixed success.
Well, considering this is weapon related, I'm going to say engineering, weapon systems, and reactors.
Absolutely.
Okay. I got accuracy. I rolled a 9. Holy shit.
Oh no!
Oh, damn. Okay, so that is you rolled a 1 on a d20. That'll
A
do
1 and a
it.
2 with the accuracy with a +6 to my modifier. Holy shit, that was...
Oof.
Now I want to see. So we're gonna hold off on saying what happens there because I want these both to go off at the same time. Astro, what do you do?
So if this is a
Better, I hope.
okay,
Yeah.
so this is a pilot trigger, or
For you, this should be a mech check. So either hull,
Okay.
agility, systems, or engineering. Probably your systems.
yeah, systems is where is it?
And you're gonna have accuracy on this.
Okay. All right. Here we go. So accuracy roll 18. Not
Okay.
a 20, but hey.
So these two things happen at the same time. Evelene and Astro, you see the DBC come into your sensor range. It is flying low and it looks injured. There is black smoke coming out one of the rear engines, and there are two very fast harrying ships that are right behind it. Evelene, you're helping Artemis get her system set up to take the shot, and a giant beam flashes out across the environment, and the sky lights up. But as you look, you see that these tiny ships are so fast, it basically launched itself. It did a barrel roll. It broke off of chasing the DBC to swerve around the attack. The attack was so big and so powerful, it got basically a warning that let it dodge before it got there. You, Evelene, watch this ship swerve around this giant beam that lights up the sky, and it's so fast, it is back on the DBC before the DBC can make much distance on it. Astro, you take aim with your puppet system on the other one. You, as soon as it's within your range to do so, you feel you have control of this ship. You get your tendrils into its systems and can mess with its operation. You wanted this to basically take a nosedive, right?
Yep.
You have it take a nosedive. You aimed it not well. As it takes a nosedive, it's incoming to your location. You're basically dropping a plane on top of yourselves. The three of you and our buddy Steve's mech are all in danger close range of an airplane that is about to crash into the empty area in front of the admin building. What do you do?
say, everyone, move fast as possible. Ship's gonna come down on us. He starts moving away.
I'm in my mech, right?
Yes, you are.
Can I just grab Steve's with like the with the grapple hooks and just bail?
You can. Yes. So you're getting to safety, and then you'd have to hook onto Steve's with your grappling mechanisms. Because you have that equipment, I will let that work.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think it's faster than walking over to grab it. Like
100%.
Yeah,
totally. That's a good solution. Artemis will very slowly try to get out of the way.
Oh right.
Yeah.
I think Artemis would probably reasonably brace, considering she just fired the ZF4. She probably is going to say, "I'm too slow."
Okay.
Just brace for impact.
Totally. I need a check from CHIMERA and from Astro to get out of the way without your mechs getting injured.
Like agility or?
Agility's a good one. You could say it's one of the other ones if it's like, oh, you're pushing your mech systems hard, or like, obviously you're using a piece of equipment, CHIMERA, so like agility might not be it for you. It might be your engineering role, whatever you use for your hook launchers or whatever.
I don't normally have a stat associated with that.
I would say that's probably engineering, because that's the type of or would it be hull for you? Does it come from, what manufacturer does it come from?
I think it's I don't remember. Let me double check.
Is it the engineering one or the hull one?
Yeah, I mean, I get where you're coming from, but I just don't remember off the top of my head. Let's see, Ferris Slash is Black Witch, which is wait, no, that's not it. Oh, it is Black Witch.
Yeah, it is.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's Smith Chapon. Yeah.
SSC.
Yes.
That's agility, right?
Okay.
That's the agility manufacturer. So yeah, I think you would be using your agility for this. You're Spider-Manning out of the way.
So
yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Okay.
Can I do like a Star Trek thing where like redirect all power to like movement to mobility modules or something like that?
What are you advocating for using?
Well, I guess that would be systems.
That would be engineering.
That would be engineering.
Yeah,
Okay.
like moving that stuff around, like full tech stuff tends to be systems.
Okay.
Like redirecting heat and all that kind of stuff is engineering.
Right. But if I'm like saying like if I'm redirecting like power flow to like the like like I like if I'm in the computer like redirecting my power flow so I can move as fast as possible, that would be engineering, you think?
I think so. We could check the thing real quick, because it has the mech, right? So it says here, roll engineering when pushing your mech past its limits, withstanding extreme conditions, keeping your mech well running past its breaking point. Whereas systems, it says infiltrating hardened electronic systems, including other mechs, bolstering or suppressing a signal, engaging in electronic warfare, scanning and analyzing, boosting or weakening electronic systems of vehicles, mechs, starships, or bases. So it's fully electronics for systems.
Okay,
making
sense.
your mechs attributes better is an engineering thing.
Okay. I'll do the engineering roll. Then it's just a 1. And let's see what happens. Oof, 8.
All right. And then
Oof.
CHIMERA.
Yep. Agility check.
That's an oof.
Oh my god. I
3.
rolled a 3, which was a
Okay.
1 plus my 2 modifier.
Dyne, what does brace do again?
It cuts damage in half. Or no, you gain resistance, but you can only perform like a quick action next round, essentially is what it is.
Cool. I'm going to roll damage for you as a group. Yours will be cut in half.
Okay.
Because Artemis decided not to dodge and just to take half damage instead.
Probably the
I'm going to
smart thing
fail
to
an
do.
ability check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Evelene, I'm going to give you a devil's bargain.
I love a devil's bargain.
You can choose whether or not your mech or Steve's mech takes the damage.
Oh, that's easy. I'll take them. I'll take the damage.
Okay.
I mean, one, it's just not Evelene's nature to let someone else take the hit, and two, I don't think Steve's mech could take the damage. It's so tiny.
No, that's very true. That's a good call.
Small mech.
He's a little guy. Just a little guy.
All right, here we go. Let's roll group damage. Wow, that's bad. 10. This is going to be 10 explosive damage because it's the mech. It's the interceptor landing and it's fuel igniting and exploding. So it's the explosion that you're all taking damage from. So this is not armor piercing. If you have armor, that works.
Hooray.
But it is 10 explosive damage to the three of you.
Shared or each?
Okay.
So I take...
No, each. Each of you will take up to 10 damage.
Okay.
Well, that
I
doesn't
take
structure me.
4, then.
That's only 8 for me because of armor.
Yeah, 8 for you, Evelene.
All right.
Sorry, comment?
Oh, I was just saying, it doesn't structure me. It takes me down to 3 HP, though. So.
That's bad. Yeah.
Okay.
KESTRAL, you're not there, but Evelene saved your mech from taking any damage, so that's nice.
Yay, I'm blissfully unaware.
Blissfully unaware, yes.
Meanwhile, Artemis is patting herself on the back for at least knowing that this could happen.
Yeah, so you have 1 armor, right, Jer?
Yeah.
So that would take it down to 9, and then you take half, which would be still 5, because it's
5,
round up
okay.
and Lancer. Yeah.
All right.
The DBC flies past very quickly overhead as one of the 2 ships has been completely taken out at the expense of you all taking quite a bit of damage. On the downside, though, one of the interceptors is still harrying the DBC, and it is now trying to make its slow turn to come back around. You hear over the comms, I don't, what do you need me to do?
I'll say, just try to land. We'll advance on your position.
I'm going to have to come back around. I don't turn as fast as these.
Okay. Do what you can. We'll try to get off another shot at your tail.
All right. She is going to turn the DBC around and will come back to you for your second attempt at helping the DBC. On the other side, hey, down in the labs, Dyne and Steve, you're squaring off against Lev's new worrying toys, the Symphonic Dolls. I think where we left you off is all the spotlights came on. You watch the weird scientist like hook himself up into like a giant metal spine type of thing that plugged into the back of his neck and head, and then become unresponsive. But then you heard his voice coming out of the Symphonic Dolls. They quickly disperse behind cover and hidden throughout the little labyrinth of kill zone that's in front of you. What do the 2 of you do?
I would like to take cover.
Yes, immediately.
Absolutely.
And then look at Dyne and go, any ideas?
I look down at my explosive stick. I look down at like my assault rifle and I go, and I shrug my shoulders. I go, it's 7 on 2. I assume we know there's 7, right?
Yeah, I specifically said at the end of the last session that as the 4 doors open,
Okay.
you see 7 people enter. It was like 2, 2, 2, and 1.
I take a look around to kind of get a better lay of the land to see if there's any way we can use the structures to our advantage tactically.
Okay, yeah, make a pilot check.
Nope. That is the Prometheus. That will not help me here.
Well, it would greatly, in fact, if
Well,
you know.
okay,
if it
yes.
were here, yeah. It could just step through the ceiling.
Spot, right? Probably.
I take spot, yeah.
Roll 14.
All right, on a 14, I think we're going to take the part of spot that says you get to spot ambushes, hidden compartments, or disguised individuals. You spot ambush positions. You're able to quickly review the zone in front of you. A thing that is to your advantage is as the two of you come in, the kill zone in front of you is kind of recessed. It goes down into the floor. So even though where you guys entered from is kind of exposed, before you guys jumped into cover, you were able to quickly get almost like a look down at the zone. So I'm going to say with your successful trigger, Orion, you've quickly memorized a lot of the terrain that you have in front of you and have an idea of where cover is and isn't around corners and where they might be setting up ambushes for you.
And I'll quickly relay possible ambush points to Steve, who may or may not have noticed these as we stepped in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this will make sure that it will lessen the severity of any failures that might come from ambushes.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, we have a little better chance. 7 to go.
All right, Steve, what do you want to do?
I'm okay. I'm not interested in fighting 7 puppets. I'm interested in killing a guy that put himself into this spine suit thing.
Totally. Yeah, I get you.
So there was some sort of glass or something because we could see him and talk to him.
Yes. So imagine that in front of you is a giant killing field. And then as if he's in boxed seating for an opera, at the far end on the other side of the zone from you, there is a glass observation booth that looks down into the kill zone from above.
So if I was to get close to that, would it be within range of my new little spiker gun?
Because the spiker gun is low range, you would have to really get close to it, but you feel like this thing goes through armor like it's butter.
Mech armor, right?
Yeah. Even if that is bulletproof glass, this thing can probably break through it.
Yeah. Then I'll say to Dyne, if I can get close to him, I think I can get him with this.
I look at him and I go, all right, let's see if we can move our way there.
All right, then I'm going to say that Steve still has kind of the initiative here. As Orion is relaying where the ambush spots and things are, you have an opportunity to make a move.
Yeah, so I'm pulling up my sheet. I had my neck pulled up and wondering, where's my skill triggers?
This is why I still have your guys' pilot sheets and CompCon off on another screen, so I can quickly click through the tabs.
No, I just pulled up the other one. I'm good now. I just was wait a second. I'm going to do get somewhere quickly to get either past or to a closer area with Dyne without hitting one of his ambush points. So trying to make movement ahead.
Okay. So you're gonna be trying to move with Dyne, correct?
Yeah.
So that means you're going to be moving as a group, which is teamwork. If people help someone carry out an action, only one character rolls as usual. That character makes the skill check and gains one So what'll happen is he will give you 1 accuracy on this roll, but if you're doing this together, both of you are implicated in whatever the results of the roll are.
That's fine. Working together may be the only way we get out of the situation, so it's worth it, I think.
That sound good to you, Steve? You're going to get somewhere quickly?
Yeah, it's good for me.
I'm not making this a dangerous roll yet because of Dyne's successful spotting of possible early kill traps.
Okay. I was going to ask for accuracy for that, but I like what you said better, so...
well, you do get accuracy anyway because you're working together to do this. You're moving forward as a group. Like, imagine the two of you are doing like some Navy SEAL shit, like watching each other's corners. And whatnot.
Sure. Okay, well, I'll roll with accuracy then. 14. It's good enough.
14. That's good enough. You guys move forward into the first section of this little kill zone. You move forward. You find it is very much contrived how things are set up in here. Both of you have been in real urban combat before, and you know this is very not like what it is. All of a sudden, this place feels a lot more like a paintball arena than it does like a training simulator. You feel like maybe this is just the extent of this guy's understanding of what military stuff looks like. To the two of you, this feels very much like, why is there waist-high cover in the center of this hallway moving forward and stuff like that? But you do use this to your advantage. You actually are able to spot, with that success, as you're moving forward, a few points where you guys would have used to your advantage that were like, oh, that's a good firing lane, but there's no one set up to take advantage of it. You're starting to get a sense that maybe this guy is not the best tactician.
He's a genius in one aspect, but not in another.
That's good for us.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
All right. What do you guys do next? You've moved forward into this little maze of cover and corners and hallways and peeking zones. What are you trying to do now? You know the other 7 are in here somewhere.
So
do you want initiative down here? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. So we know the relative position of the ambush points. So as we move through, Dyne would kind of like assuming that the guy is not that great at tactics, he probably can't control all of the dolls as efficiently. So they're probably making more noise than I would expect. So based on that knowledge, Dyne would kind of listen for what ambush points they're going for and move to different ambush points, kind of guiding Steve through the maze, right?
Okay, so your goal is to not engage entirely and not like get a good position on them. Your goal is to get around them, not get position on them.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I just want to know what you're rolling for.
I think in this case it's probably stay cool. Requires concentration, dexterity, and speed to try and get around them without tipping them off as to where we are.
Okay,
right?
Absolutely. I like it.
23.
With a 23, Steve, you watch as Dyne like almost freezes for a second as the two of you get to your next cover position. You see him like rotating his head slightly as he hears some things. Dyne, you're like, okay, I know where they are. Over the next minute, you are able to move forward, double back, and then move around as they move to cut off your advance. You have convinced them to overcommit to the east side of the arena as you guys double back, being way quieter than they are being, and get around them. As a group of 2, you make much less noise moving than they do.
Cool.
All right, as you advance a little bit further, Steve, what are you contributing?
So, assuming at this point they are starting to understand what's going on and are trying to listen as well, I want to take a piece of debris and try to chuck it away from where we are, like to the other side, to distract them more. Because I think this guy would be gullible enough to fall for something like that.
Okay. What pilot check are you wanting to do for this?
I mean, I would also ask for stay cool, but it feels kind of, I mean, if you think it's okay, I'd use that. Otherwise, it would just be a flat roll, I think.
I think I could call this stay cool. This is a concentration and dexterity thing. Dexterity is accuracy, precision. This makes sense to me.
Okay. Yeah, if you're cool with that, then I'll roll that then. 22.
Nice. Steve, you unfortunately don't have debris to work with because this is a pretty pristine area, which is also very unlike real situations. You very quickly are able to like grab a piece of, let's just say, like unnecessary kit that you happen to have on you. You're like, I don't need this bandolier, so you unclip it from your thing or something.
I'm actually going to throw one of my stims.
Okay.
Sure. I'm taking one of the uses out for it.
As you throw it, it is a very unnatural sound, which lends credence to, oh, that must be where they actually are, because it sounds like something that doesn't exist normally within the zone. And as you throw it around a corner, as it scrapes behind a piece of cover, with your 22, you kind of aim it perfectly. You're a real curler here. It slides, hits a wall, and banks behind some cover. They think that must be where you are, because the sound that made doesn't sound like anything else in here.
Sure.
As you guys move up past the middle of the kill zone, still not having come into a firefight with the 7 people in here. With that advance, I'm going to say we cut back to the other team.
Cool.
Evelene and Astro, the DBC has made a hard bank in the distance. You watch uncomfortably as the scout you see on your sensors takes more pot shots at the DBC, trying to cripple it further. You see the DBC rock violently as it makes its turn and has to slow into its turn, and the interceptor basically is able to just tee off on it. Luckily, the DBC is big enough to be fairly well armored, but it is taking enough hits that it's cumulatively coming out poorly in this exchange. Also, there's only 2 of them on the ship. It is Jess and Curry. Without other people to help, they're not able to put up as much of a fight as they would like. They are able to aim back up and buzz past your position again. What is your plan this time?
I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to try to hack the other ship.
Can you make sure it doesn't crash at us again, like the other one?
This time I will do. Let me just see my options here. So I can. Oops, that's the wrong sheet. That's my pilot sheet. Let me go to my mech sheet. So I can do eject power cores. That's what I was going to do the first time. I can also, ships can take heat, right?
Yeah.
I can also use banish on it. Until the end of your target's next turn, they take 2 heat for every space they voluntarily move, up to a maximum of 6 heat. I don't know. Maybe they can deal with more than 6
They are
heat.
moving quite fast. So they will, if they are trying to keep up with the DBC, have to take all that heat. In addition, I think when you hack something, don't you give them heat on a success anyway?
You do, yes.
So I would say this is just Astro knowledge, because Astro knows system stuff.
Yeah.
You know that would be that would be threatening overheat on something that's not a mech. Right.
Yeah.
This is an interceptor. This isn't really a mech, right?
Right.
Like if you put that much heat, that's almost like shooting it.
Okay. Then that's what I'm going to do.
Plus, reasonably speaking, do you think that the interceptor could come to a complete stop before it overheats? Like,
unlikely.
Well, I know for sure it's going to take all that heat. I just wasn't sure if that's like heat it could handle or not.
Yeah,
Well,
the heat that we use in this game is scaled based on mechs.
Yeah.
A good
not
way
the
to think of this,
Prometheus.
is think of these as non-mech interceptors. These are
Right.
like F-16s or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, keep
Makes
in mind that
sense.
we fought in drones in the past where as soon as you gave them any form of heat, they exploded. So I feel like this is a similar situation.
Well, yeah, but those are drones. Like these
Yeah,
are
these
piloted.
might not be grunts. Like they
Yeah.
might have actual heat values, but it's probably low.
There's probably people in them, right?
Yeah, these are manned.
I didn't even
These
think
are
about
manned
that.
interceptors.
Another thing to keep in mind here is G-force.
Oh God, yeah. That's
Mhm.
true.
But yeah, so I think I will do that.
It's probably too late to do anything with Artemis because Artemis is still recovering from the attack and bracing and
Artemis's ranges are pretty long, right, Dyne? Like
Yeah.
she could fire a shot, but it probably wouldn't be a fully charged ZF4 with the time
it
you
wouldn't
have.
be charged.
I could do a skirmish because I braced. I have one quick action, so she could fire a shot if needed.
Yeah, if you guys wanted to double up to make sure you guys hit
It would be a good idea.
but I would say that Artemis would be working with difficulty on this shot.
That's fine.
Yeah, I'll tell Artemis, take aim. I'm gonna try to take this this other interceptor down. But I'd like you to also try for assurance.
Okay.
All right, and so I will do it. Should I roll system?
Yeah, this is going to be a systems systems mech check.
Okay, I'm guessing not accurate this time.
Not accurate this time.
Okay, here we go. Fingers crossed. 10.
10. Even success, barely.
Yes.
But the quick calculations Astro did in his head pay off. As the DBC buzzes low over your position, you catch the second the interceptor comes within your sensor range. And as you fill its, code and engines and stuff with deleterious information that completely bogs down its systems, makes it completely inefficient, you watch as the literal trail, the contrail it's leaving behind it as it flies through the sky stops giving off like normal exhaust and becomes black smoke with a glow of flame ejecting out of the rear of its thrusters instead.
Nice.
As it rocks to one side and then there is a literal explosion after 3 seconds of it continuing to move forward with that black smoke. An explosion takes one of the rear engines. It has 2 rear engines, and it explodes, sending it into a spiral that crashes into the nearby mountains.
Oh,
Perfect.
good. I was expecting it to fly into a factory or something.
Oh no, yeah, I mean,
Or at the last second, it turns around and heads straight towards us.
head straight towards you guys again.
No.
It's like, God damn it.
No, I want it to be the factory where that mech, where that worker, the Astro shot in the foot is positioned.
Yeah. It hits him only.
His
It
no
just
good, very
damages
bad
the part
day.
of the building that he's in.
He got abducted by a corp, got turned into a worker zombie, got shot, got essentially shot a second time because he didn't realize he was shot,
Yeah.
and then had to remember that he was shot, and then be told a bunch of platitudes by a guy who probably isn't coming back to help him.
I mean, don't forget that when he leaves the factory, he'll forget that he was shot again, and then they have to remember only to look up in the sky and see a ship falling out at him.
Yeah, he's not having the best day.
Guys, I'm starting to think that there are ethical concerns with this technology. Just a thought.
Just starting.
And as that happens, you see the DBC already heavily damaged, and even more so with that interceptor following it. Jess comes over the comms to you all and goes, "All right, okay, things are okay. But where's Dyne?" Is Dyne there?
Dyne and Steve are inside the administrative building.
Shit.
Right
Okay.
now.
Do any of you know first aid?
Is Curry injured?
Curry's hurt real bad. And
Okay.
with that, we're going to switch over to the other team. Dyne and Steve.
Hey, Dyne, things are going pretty well, huh?
No, it's not like anything bad's going on upstairs.
You two have moved through to the center of this kill zone. You've been doing very well sneaking around, but unfortunately, they just have a numerical advantage. You eventually lose the benefits of being fully concealed from them, but they are now scrambling to get in position to block off any further advance by you. It does seem that the fact that you moved past them so silently has caught them off guard, so they're using pretty brute force numerical advantage tactics to just put like enough people in front of you that you couldn't possibly get around without interacting with them in some way. So they will be something you're contesting moving forward now.
Okay.
But they're not acting immediately. You guys still have initiative here.
Dyne, do you have any explosives?
I have the stick and I have a frag.
Okay. This professor, whatever, is controlling these guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if he's not used to combat, the explosive doesn't need to hit him to concuss him in some way. Very
True.
likely. So if we can get some explosions going off near where they're trying to set up, should buy us some more time.
I think so. So have they already spread out around us, or are they still kind of like
They've noticed that you're advancing to the other side of the field and getting around them. So rather than trying to advance on your position, they've set up a screen. So there's no way to advance further without being spotted and engaged by at least two people. They've covered all the corners that lead forward from here. To your assessment.
What I would like to do is essentially spot where I expect one group to be, like it's a two-part thing. Spot where one group I suspect to be, and then if I'm able to determine that, launch a grenade at them, and then move a different direction, essentially, to kind of disrupt their plan.
Here's what I'll say. If you throw a grenade one direction and then go another direction, there still might be guards in the second direction you go.
Yeah.
Just to
That's where my grenade comes into play.
Okay. So let's do your first thing, Orion, and then see what your companion does at the same time.
Okay. So I'll start with spot because I'm trying to determine where this first
where you think they're
screen
set up.
is initially. Yeah. 15.
You can just barely make out a muzzle around the corner ahead of you. Someone's probably pressed up around the corner, like directly ahead.
Yeah. So I'll spot them, take my grenade, throw it, and have it bounce off the wall and land right at their feet, essentially.
Absolutely. As that is happening, before we see the resolution of that, what is Steve doing at the same time? Are you waiting for that to resolve, or are you doing something?
No, I would want to do it at as much at the same time as possible. I don't know how this guy's tech works, but assuming he gets a lot of sensory input at once, it could delay him or something, is my hope.
Okay.
So as Dyne is doing his thing, I assume I know roughly where they're looking, even if I don't know directly where they're at, right? Like they're behind that building or whatever.
You know that if there are three hallways all snaking through this maze going forward, they're probably set up in all three hallways. So you can guess that there's people there.
Okay, so I want to be a little bit more overt then, and I'm going to walk out of cover and shoot my medium signature to give myself cover fire down a hallway, and then while that's happening, throw a grenade while they're covering behind it.
Okay. Yeah, okay, I get you. So you're trying to shoot to make them duck down and then throwing a grenade to flush.
Yeah,
Got
that
it.
kind of thing.
And what are you using for this?
Assault.
Yeah, totally. This is an assault.
Yeah. He already rolled, right? So
Yes, he did. Yep.
No accuracy, I assume.
No.
16.
All right. So
Nice.
here's what happens. Because both of you succeeded, this happens synchronized with each other. Dyne, you see the muzzle and are able to pitch it off the wall directly to land at the feet of the one ahead of you. As KESTRAL, you stand up, start firing down a hallway. You see some of the evidence of people back there cringe away from the open firing lanes as you as well throw a grenade back there. The two grenades go off almost simultaneously. Big explosion, just like a second off from each other. As this happens, the two of you note, you hear the voice of this scientist coming from like 6 throats at the same time, all audibly, let's say scrambled. It's like 6 people all going at the same time, like they've all been hit by a flashbang at the same time as each other. You don't know if that's what was supposed to happen, but you hear 6 voices at the same time all sound like they've been hit by something.
And that sounds horrible.
Yes, it does.
Oh, he's the one who linked his senses to them, right?
Mm-hmm. I would like the two of you to give me some sort of technology check.
I have engineering, but it is weapon systems, but I don't think this entirely
this doesn't entirely set up. I would say this would probably be more of a straight pilot check for you if you were gonna do that and didn't have something else.
Yeah.
I assume I'm probably the same unless read a situation comes into play or investigate. No, it would be investigate.
I would say you could use read a situation on this. This would be, you would get less insight on the technology, but more insight on the on-the-ground effects.
Okay, I'll do that then.
Yeah.
11.
All right,
9.
Orion, you don't have time. You don't have time. You need to make use of this opening now. Neither of you are losing anything from a failure here. I just wanted to see if I was about to give you extra information. So Ryan, it's just, you put it out of mind. You're like, I need to move now. We're in mortal danger. Steve, at the same time, you know what fighting on the ground looks like. And you know who... This shouldn't probably happen. You imagine that a field-tested system like this probably shouldn't have this kind of weakness built into it. You think, oh, if this works on them, that kind of sucks for them. And remember, this is iteration 0.1 of this device. You're able to make the rational conclusion that this is a testing version of the Symphonic Doll, and there are perhaps still some bugs in the system for how it works.
It's exactly what I was hoping for, in fact.
Oh, great. Now we're beta testers.
Yeah, you guys are beta testers. Well, I mean, he's a beta tester. You didn't sign any agreements.
Great. I would like to let the doctor know I'm not signing an NDA.
But it does mean you're not going to be credited on the final report.
Yeah, I'd rather keep my life.
That might be an okay thing. But yeah, you guys are able to move forward in the confusion. I'm going to say specifically, Dyne's grenade goes off first, and you think the people behind that corner were thrown off by it, but maybe not taken out by it. But Steve's that went off like a second later opened a hole for you. You think that you don't know how many, but you probably took out some people and you have an opening to move forward. You two are able to quickly assess the tactics on it and you're able to breach their line. There is now kind of a sweep and clear thing happening around you. You think they've lost the sense of where you are exactly. This is very like you've been spotted in Metal Gear Solid and all the guards are like doing patrols to try and locate where you've gone off to.
I look for a cardboard box to hide under.
Unfortunately, I don't think you brought any. Unless you have it flat packed and can whip it out real quick.
You mean the scientist didn't put cardboard boxes in here?
He's slacking. He's slacking, man. How do you guys want to take advantage of the situation?
About how far do we look from our goal?
You've made it past halfway in the kill zone now. If you successfully make it to the end, I will allow you to start making attempts to try and get through the security glass. Because it's fairly short range of a weapon. And you want it to go through the security glass and get that guy, which means you'll basically have to get right up to it.
Sure. I mean, I feel like we just want to get moving again, so I'd probably just do it get somewhere quickly.
All right.
But does Dyne have any
say,
thoughts? Yeah.
I'm going to say with the enemies on guard now and kind of surrounding you, any checks you make now are going to be dangerous unless you do something to negate the dangerous quality of them.
Okay.
What do you think? Should we just fight them or keep trying to get past them?
We'll probably have to fight them at some point. Try and keep it to our advantage. Maybe thin their numbers a little bit. We've taken out maybe 2 and disoriented the rest. Let's see if we can take advantage of this glitch in the system. I want to, let's say...
I have an idea.
Go ahead.
I have 2 stims left. I want to hand 1 stim to Dyne and keep 1 for myself. If we stim 2 different guys with 2 different juices...
Okay. I like that idea. If you guys can pull that off, I will give a significant success.
Okay, then let's head down the path where I threw my grenade, because they're likely to be the most disoriented, right? If not, yeah, because I think that's the most reasonable, right?
Yeah, I mean, that sounds good to me.
Okay, we will head down that path towards the guys I threw my grenade at and try and catch them off guard.
All right. What are the 2 stems?
Freeze and juice. Freeze keeps a pilot calm and emotionally stable, deadens fear and other strong reactions. Juice is heightens senses and alertness, reduce fatigue and shorten reaction times. Juice occasionally provokes rage in some users.
All right. Yeah, I like it. Let's see what happens. You guys are basically trying to sneak up on them to like melee them with these stims, right? You're hitmanning them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see if you can do that. Act unseen or unheard is what I would normally ask for something like this, but I don't think either of you have it.
No. I think Steve's get somewhere quickly is probably best for this, because we're trying to catch them while they're still disoriented.
Get somewhere quickly, maybe read a situation, probably not, and stay cool would be the 3 that I'm looking at that I have. Word on the street comes up less than you'd think.
Well, you need to be looking for more gossip.
Yeah, let's take the scientist out for a drink.
All right, so if we're doing a combined action here, who's going to take the lead?
I'll take it with get somewhere quickly. Sound good?
All right. I'm going to add difficulty onto this, but that will only counteract the accuracy you get for working together.
Okay.
So this is going to be a straight roll, get somewhere quickly, and it's considered dangerous.
Okay. 14.
All right. On a 14, you do get somewhere quickly, but you do not get there unseen or unheard.
Sure.
You are able to come up on these visibly stunned soldiers, but they don't act like they're stunned. They are moving oddly, almost like marionettes. Like, while their heads are still blinking away spots, their arms still move as if they're unencumbered by what has happened to them in a very unhuman way. They move in a way that ups the ick factor. The uncanny valley has been they've fallen into the uncanny valley here for the two of you. As they respond, they unfortunately catch the both of you off guard. The two soldiers will light up your position. They are both wielding... Okay, neither one of them is that soldier. So both of them have medium signature weapons, which means they are both doing 2 kinetic damage. So that's 2 kinetic damage to each of you.
Okay, so I'll take 1 because of my heart suit. Cool.
And I will take none because of my hard suit.
You are able to push up on them. Dyne getting a little worse from the wear just because of his hard suit isn't as carapace as yours.
Yeah.
But yeah, luckily you were able to push right through KESTRAL and get right up on them. They weren't able to do anything else to counteract the two of you. The two of you take out the injectors, plunge them in, and both inject at the same time. And watch a very odd thing happen, where which one of you has the freeze and which one has the juice?
We'll just say I gave the freeze to Dyne, and I juiced.
Yeah.
Dyne, as you plunge the freeze into one of their arms, you watch the stunned nature of their eyes fall away, and their eyes lock onto you with like a deadly fear, like ferocity. They, even though you've just injected something into their body, they have no fear of you. They're like focused on you. Whereas Steve, you inject one and you watch him Hulk out, basically. He, even though you've got up on him, you feel his muscles as you've like basically tackled him and tried to inject this into him, like pushing you off like he's way stronger than you, even though you have a hard suit on. He's moving real fast and you see like a red mist descend over his countenance. And then both of them go cross-eyed. As around the field, you hear 6 thumps and watch the 2 people in front of you fall over passed out.
Not even taking a true account of what's happening, I'm just going to say go and start running for the glass.
Yep.
You guys very quickly charge to the other side of the field. You see evidence down one hall of the collapsed Symphonic Dolls on the ground from another group that was trying to get around flanking you. Like as you were advancing on that position, there were others coming behind you, and you see them down that hallway. As you pass that hallway, both collapsed in the same way as the 2 that you 2 got. You rush up the field. You quickly climb over the terrain that is like high on the opposite side, so you can get up to see into the glass, the structural glass that the scientist is in. You can see that his eyes, he originally went into like a comatose state after getting hooked into the thing. His eyes have opened and there's like a weird glassiness to them, as you can see his hands like drunkenly reaching up behind his head, like batting at the little cords that are hanging down from the ceiling, hooking into the ceiling. It's like he's realized something has gone wrong and is trying to disconnect himself, but he is doing so in a very uncoordinated, like drunken way. You have 1 action each to capitalize on this.
So
I'm going to try to, if I can, I'm going to try to shoot the spear gun.
Absolutely. Yeah, you get up. Now there's no platform directly around the glass, which means you have to get on the highest piece of wall that is closest to that side, which means you're within range, you think, but you're still going to have to get off a good shot here. This is going to be with difficulty.
Okay. Just assault, I guess.
I accept assault.
With difficulty, 3.
All right. You have 3 spears in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
You fire one of the spears, and unfortunately, it doesn't crack the whole glass, but it does pierce it. It's one of those things where you see in some bulletproof glass where it cracks, spider across the glass, but only one tiny little hole where the spear went through actually opens up. You watch the spear fire into the control room and hit some expensive looking equipment at the far side as sparks go up and down the spear, but you weren't on target for the shot.
Sure.
Dyne, what are you doing at the same time?
So after I see Steve fire and his spear basically go through it, I'm going to take my explodey stick and basically throw it right at the hole that Steve put through the glass to try and explode it.
Okay, the area that's weakened, absolutely.
Yes.
Now, like I said before, this is an inaccurate weapon. If you're throwing it, you'll take difficulty.
That's totally fine.
All right, let's do it.
This is definitely a stay cool.
Totally.
It's really more addressed to whom it may concern. So
inaccurate. 11.
11 is enough. You get it not right on the hole the spear made, but on the part of the spider web of cracks that reaches out from that hole. As the sticky grenade spear sticks onto the glass, you watch as it goes through the thing where the spear, actually the pull on it releases from the grenade because it's set up so that the grenade releases once it sticks to something.
Yeah.
So the pull, just like a giant like metal pole, falls to the ground and clanks against the ground, like cling, click, cling. As the scientist finally succeeds in like tearing the various wires out of the back of his head, you see some amount of reason return to him because it's not his body that was flooded with those chemicals. So once he disconnects from them, he seems to like come back to himself. As he looks over to the big set of cracks on his bulletproof window, as a grenade explodes, it shatters the rest of the weakened window, not taking out the whole window, but creating like, I would say like a 5, maybe 10-foot wide hole in the window where the bulletproof glass just is blasted away. You watch him get blasted back because he's close enough to the glass that like he gets some of the concussive force of this and is thrown into the back wall as he slumps to the ground.
As soon as that happens, I look over and I say, Steve, and I kind of take a position to give him a boost to try and throw him up as high as I can so he can get into the window and finish the job, maybe. I think I can do that. Yeah.
All right, Steve, you don't have to make a check for this. There is no active threats on you, and with Dyne's help, he is able to boost you up so that you can like launch yourself through the opening in the window. You land and roll. Luckily, this kind of glass doesn't make a lot of sharp shards. It's mostly like weird, cracked, like reinforced, like almost plastic glass everywhere. And it seems like the explosion spread it pretty far into the room, so you don't have to worry about like being in a die-hard situation where you're all cut up.
Less likely for my hard suit anyways.
Very true. You stand up in the little room you're in, and the scientist is kind of like seated against the back wall, like dazed. His head's just like slumped down, and he's barely like waking up as you get in. He doesn't have any weapons on him. He's just a scientist. And you see I did have his name written down. Where did it go?
Patera?
I have it pulled up. Seth Patera. As Seth like looks up at you like dazed and obviously injured, he's holding one arm that is bleeding that must have like hit the back wall, and you can see some red like starting to stain his white coat through his shoulder as he just like looks up to you, his head like bobbing a little bit. He goes, good fight.
Seems you have some bugs to work out in the system.
Yeah, it does.
Now, this may be hurtful to you, but I'm not here for you and your experiments. I want to know what's going on this planet, and I care so little about you that I might let you live if you tell me.
Evelene, in our group chat, did he really just say GG? Yes, he did. He looks up at you and he goes, what do you want to know?
Why this planet? What are these corps doing here?
I mean, I'm not on the board. I'm well funded, but I don't make the decisions. I just benefit from them.
I'm guessing he's lying.
I
feel like I could kind of
make a check.
Read a situation.
You could assume that he's lying, or you can make a check to confirm.
Yeah, I'll do read a situation. It's
totally.
The closest.
You're looking for subtext motives.
17.
Yeah. On a 17, he knows more than he is saying, but what he's saying is true.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll just go, oh, well, then I guess you're not useful to me then in any way.
He,
and
looks around.
This is the part where you try harder.
Okay. Okay. It seems like he thinks about something that you might not know. And it's like, okay, if you let me go, there are some things that I know.
I raise an eyebrow at him.
Oh, no, I need an agreement.
Sure, I agree to let you go.
Okay. Well, a thing that you might not know, he racks his brain for how to tell you. You can tell he's trying to figure out what he can tell you that will be that you think is useful, but
minimalize things.
Yeah, he's going to try and minimalize things. You can make a pilot check to make him give you real info. If you press him,
word on the street. Kind of joking about that before.
If you do something to make it clear to him that you're not going to accept bullshit, you can try to make a pilot check to make him give away more than he would have otherwise.
Can I help give advantage by? I assume by this point I've managed to make my way up.
You can say that.
Patching up his arm, essentially as a sign of goodwill.
Make it feel real that you're going to let him go. Yeah, okay. I'm going to say that. Totally. So this would be a pilot check with accuracy then. You can just do that. That's a doctor thing. His shoulder is not beyond your skill level.
Yeah.
And I'll say, listen, we're not the only group here. We know you have other sites, and there are other mercenaries, we'll say, collecting information. They don't have to know that it comes from you.
All right. Okay.
But it does need to be good enough for me to, want you to live.
Have you seen what we're making here?
I look around the room and go, a poorly designed virtual reality simulation?
He looks a little concerned. He goes, Do you know why we have workers here?
I know that you have a factory, but I wasn't the one to explore it.
Okay. The question you might want to answer is, where are all the things being made here going to? Do you know what Lumiere is?
Do I know what Lumiere is?
You guys have heard it come up.
Okay, then I'll say I've heard the name before.
So you have been doing your research. There is a series of bases in the system. Let's just call it a rally point where all the resources being made on this planet are being collected and going to.
Some sort of war.
Well, I can't say that. Remember, we talked about things above my head before. But I do know, based on my superiors, that, well, while I was busy coming up with this technology and doing all of Lev's concerns here, all the things being made at these factories are being consolidated in one place. There might be more of them than you think.
Consolidated at Lumiere?
That's right.
Okay. Then who's the target?
I think what you might want to ask is, if you had enough resources to revive a planet and decided not to do that, how many resources do you have left over, and what could you funnel them towards? There are 450 of these factories on this planet.
That's a lot.
He nods as if you're starting to understand. What if all of a sudden 3 of the corporations had more military than Corsec did and didn't like being told what to do anymore?
Another galactic civil war. Is what Dyne will say.
The
Has there
scientists,
been a galactic civil war?
as far as all of you know, the Big Six never team up with each other. There's always territory or skirmishes on a legal level. Now, to us, those might look like wars. Those would look like, hey, this planet belongs to me. And another person would be like, no, according to my contract, it says it belongs to me. And 2 of the megacorps might go to quote unquote war with each other, but that's a skirmish. That's them having a legal dispute. What's being implied here is secretly a buildup of military resources of a combined threat that would equal the military megacorps standing army.
But is it really just bad blood? I mean, things have been stable enough for the most part for them for a long time.
This isn't something I know. All I know is that, well, my boss and my boss's boss have been very ornery ever since Corsec has been given a bunch of new privileges in the past couple of years. Being allowed to supersede galactic law, the inquest. Let's just say people are very unhappy with the amount of latitude Corsec is taking recently. It's less of the big 6 anymore and the big 1 with the other 5.
I get why Terratella might not be involved, but what, Manticore didn't want a slice of this pie?
Oh, I don't have the answer to that. I find it incredible that 3 of them could get along. I would expect them to tear each other's throats out.
That is a very good point. You are a smart individual, aren't you?
He smiles.
Well, using that smarts, you must have a theory, then.
Oh, I think that at the very least, there is going to be a show of force, maybe some blustering, maybe a renegotiation of limits of power. And if one side or the other doesn't stand down, my guess, war like we haven't seen since the colonies broke away.
Going back to the Outer Rim is sounding better and better lately.
You would know he's referencing the split when the FFC, the Federation of Former Colonies, split away from the rest of the known universe and became their own, basically, supernation. Whereas basically the entire world that you guys have been operating in is collectively controlled by the
6 megacorps.
No. Why am I losing? Why Cygnus State? While the entire area that you guys operate in is all the Cygnus State, the Federation of Former Colonies broke away in the bloodiest war that's existed in human history ever.
Fantastic.
So does and if I don't know this in character, then I'll ask him. But are there competing capital ships by these 3 corporations that have aligned, or is that just a Corsac thing?
He smiles and goes, "A lot of me wonders where all these resources are going to. I don't know what they're building up in Lumiere, but the mind ponders."
So, probably something on the scale of or larger.
He looks around and says, "There is something that I could give you if you sweeten the deal for me."
I'm listening.
Well, my operation here has been very productive, and my little marionettes have made a whole lot at our factory, so I get to see a lot of our shipping manifests. And Lumiere is a collection of bases and space stations. It is spread out over a large area, and I know exactly where it is. In fact, I know where the newest station being built is. Lumiere Salacia is, well, just built and is being outfitted, just finished construction, and from what I hear is, well, vulnerable. Minimal guard, in the midst of outfitting and being linked to the tactical network. I think some enterprising investigators such as yourselves might have a field day there. And the price of its coordinates are just getting me away from here.
I'm gonna be honest with you for a moment. I planned on killing you either way. But you just told me something that is making me rethink this. You get me this information and I will actually let you live.
He looks concerned. and then looks hopeful, and then looks suspicious in that order. I'm going to need a pilot check from you, KESTRAL, to get him to give this information. Or Dyne. Either of you will need to convince him that he'll be safe with you if you want this information from him.
So he does want to come with us.
Yes,
is what he's
he wants
asking.
out of here.
Let me see. Do you have anything, Dyne?
I mean, I have investigate, spot, stay cool, and patch. None of which really apply here.
Well, I mean, I don't mean just as a skill trigger. Do you have something that would convince him as well?
I mean, I could use a corrective on him. But that's...
I'm not sure what that...
It's essentially something that would... no, I don't really have an idea, essentially.
Okay.
Aside from putting a gun to his head.
Well, we've already done that. That's old news now.
I know.
You could do 2.
I will tell you this much. We are an accomplished Lancer team. We have made it onto this base somewhat unscathed, made it through your particular test, and also tricked the Megacorps into letting us come here. We have enough skill to at least get you out, I think.
If you can guarantee my safety and drop me off in a spot of my choosing after we all get out of here, then I will give it to you.
I'll look over at Dyne.
I nod.
Look, buddy, I can't guarantee my safety at the moment, but I can do the best that I can.
Go ahead and make a pilot check with accuracy.
D20. Okay, 16.
Okay.
Man, we are on point today.
On a 16, he will say, all right, well, the first thing you should know is that Lumiere is the moon of this planet. There are a scattering of military bases all across the dark side of the surface, pointed away from the space station. Additionally, there are a bunch of tidally locked space stations in a network also on that side. It has been kept as a big secret from everyone here, and in fact, only our controlled soldiers, our controlled workers, our whatever you think of these things as, are the only people who have been able to actually see what we're working on. Now, obviously, I am someone who's been trusted with that information, but all the workers that we're using from here don't know what's happening. I know where this newly constructed Lumiere station is. It's one of the network of stations floating above the surface of the moon. And once you get me onto a ship that we're going to get off of here, I'll give you the coordinates.
Okay, good enough. Dyne. Well, I'll ask this guy. Is there another way up here from down in the... And I'll point over at the, shooting gallery.
Oh, no, there's just the one. Well, there's a door I came in, but it only goes to, laboratories. It would actually be longer to go... He points behind it, but it would be longer to go that way.
All right, well... I'll look at him for a second and go... Take your suit off.
What?
Well, what? Do you want the corpse to know that you got out? We're putting your suit on one of those bodies out there, and I'm blowing this room up.
Oh, good idea. He'll take his stuff off and give it to you.
I shake my head a little. Go, Dyne, you watch him?
Yeah, I got it.
All right, I'll bring a body up from down below and do what I just said, basically.
Okay.
Put him up in the suit, and then I have my heavy signature, which should cause a good enough explosion if I hit the body with it, that Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And are you extracting with this guy then?
I guess so.
All right. Seth will come along quietly with you. He's very visibly unarmed, and now that you've stripped him of his like lab coat and stuff, he just has on like trousers and a shirt. He has like like one of those very thin, light white undershirts on. And he's like, "All right, what's the plan?"
Well, we head back to the surface, rendezvous with the rest of our team, and hope that our ship is here. It should be, well, soon, if it isn't already.
Sounds good. Lead away.
And up we go.
All right. You guys return to the surface. As you come back up from the exposed, like the little shuttered off staircase going down that was hidden, and eventually bring him back to the surface. As you open the door, you at the same time hear a large explosion in the sky above the building you're in. Diltep is there. He notices the door come up, and then you guys walk out. And he goes, "Oh, fuck, you guys are okay. Good. Let's go."
Ship has arrived then?
He is talking, oh, yeah, to you two. He goes, "Oh, no, but we need to get the fuck out of here. A plane might fall on us."
I look
okay.
out to see where Diltep is looking out.
If you look out the front windows, there is the corpse of an exploded fighter plane, like 30 feet away from the front door.
Cool.
Yeah, your friends have been doing some shit outside. I've been busy, so I don't know what they've been doing.
Well, I don't know what you've been busy with, but it doesn't seem like you're busy with it anymore.
Yeah, let's get... Hey, wait, who's that?
Oh, he's one of the scientists here. We made a deal. He's going to tell us what we want to know, and we let him live.
Diltep nods, looks at you, and seems to be asking a silent question. He looks at you with like a curiousness in his eyes.
I'll just nod at him.
All right, he's gonna be like, "All right, yeah, come on, let's get out the door before we're blocked off. I think your friends are getting set up out front. We couldn't contact you while you were down there. You weren't on the line."
Yeah, we figured. Also, yeah, keep an eye on him. If he like runs or something, shoot him, of course.
Diltep takes out a pistol and will just come up behind the scientist and be like, "I'm watching him." And the scientist, Seth, is like, "This is not necessary. I obviously want to get out of here." And then Diltep just pokes him very hard in the spine with the pistol. He says, "I didn't ask your permission."
Listen, Seth, I think.
Yeah.
You're just too smart for us to take you at your word. You understand?
This is undignified.
But understandable.
He guffaws, but he lets it happen. All right. You guys are back together as you arrive as they blow up the final interceptor that is taking the that was chasing the DBC. You step out front of the building with your two hangers on and see, well, your 4 mechs have been moved to the admin building and are all noticeably, a few tens of feet away from the front of the building where the big exploding airplane was.
I don't really know what to say, so I'm just gonna get to my mech or where they are at or whatever.
All right, what are you doing with Diltep and Seth?
I'll just bring him along.
Yeah.
Where are you putting them?
Yeah, they gotta go somewhere on the mech.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know the situation well enough to say that yet, I guess.
All right. You guys get back. Diltap just keeps watch on the scientist as you guys pull your stuff back up. Astro and Evelene, you see your friends come out from the admin building with Diltap. Evelene and Astro, that is.
Sorry, I was on mute.
Yeah.
Can I communicate with them?
Yeah, totally.
From my Mac.
Yeah, everyone's back in communications.
Okay, I'll say, "Oh, Dyne, Steve, thank God you're back. A lot of stuff happened. Dyne, we need you at the DBC ASAP. Curry's been hurt."
All right. I'll run over to Artemis and try to mount the mech.
Yeah, you get an Artemis and start to spin things up.
I'll say it should be
Dyne.
landing now.
Dyne, I could get you there quicker. What if Diltep and Seth get an Artemis and Artemis makes her way towards the ship?
I'll get an Artemis. It's probably easier for you to carry both Diltep and Seth with your mech, to be honest.
Do you think Artemis would allow two strangers inside?
Yeah,
her,
I don't want to let two.
She would like lock down everything, I'm sure.
As you guys are discussing options, you see on your readouts, those of you who have readouts readily available, the DBC, which is limping but like operable, set down in the designated landing zone. As it does, you get readouts of the reinforcements coming.
All right, never mind. Diltep and Seth, you're going to try to make it to that ship.
Diltep looks at the ship in the distance, can barely pick it out with how far away it is. He goes, yeah, no problem. The scientist goes, what?
I don't think you want me to be carrying you when we're fighting the reinforcements that are coming.
Diltep looks at Seth and goes, listen, Goggles, you're going to do exactly what I say, and you're going to follow me to the letter, and I'm going to get you to that ship. If you do anything I don't like, I'll shoot you and carry you. The scientist is too shocked to respond.
Assuming he looks at me, right? Because we made a deal. I'm just going to shrug at him. Better do what he says.
This is a battlefield, unfortunately. It's not always easy to follow things to the letter.
Think of this as research. Active field research.
Right.
I load up into Artemis. Or the Prometheus.
As the four of you load up into your mechs, your systems come online. From a distance, now, for Steve, this is a comforting thing. Jess is in communication again. She is back on the operations terminal and is giving you guys loadouts and information about the incoming mechs that are cresting over the horizon that are like outside your sensor range, but within range for the DBC to detect. As your tactical fields start to read out, you note these signals are familiar. In fact, you've seen them fairly recently. As you see two paired units, each one of them are the same type of experimental mechs that you fought when you took this base.
Oh, goody.
I don't remember liking those.
Oh, yeah. And that's where we're going to pick up next time.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Oh, no.
All right, we'll see if you can fight your way through and get to extraction in our next episode. Thanks, everyone, for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.